Hi everyone, I'm Ian Harvey, massage therapist. Today we're going to talk about how to sit more during your massage. Now, Ian, why would you want to sit more during your massage? I've got 4 reasons. The first reason is that it keeps you from standing for your entire day, which can lead to low back stuff, which can lead to foot pain, so why not sit more? Second reason, it adds variety to your routine. So you won't always be doing the same thing for 6 hours a day. Instead, you'll be working from different angles and you'll be using different parts of your body. This will be helpful in preventing fatigue and even repetitive stress injuries. The third reason is that sitting feels good and you deserve to sit. The fourth reason is that it gives you some unique and useful angles for massage that you can't get from working from top down. You can work with the sides of the body, you can work with the sides of the hip, with the armpit in ways that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do, which I'll show you with a client on the table. By the way, I've got another video coming out today just for my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to learn more about that, click on the link in the description. So this is Tara.
Hello.
It's her leg. So one reason to sit more is that it is easy. It's easy to apply pressure from the side, from this position. It's something that I can do just by leaning my body. In fact, it pretty much feels free. It feels like free energy. So if I'm working on the leg and I'm in a standing position, I've been standing for a while, I can sit down and I can really make contact with this IT band much more easily than if I were to try to stay standing and do this, especially with a lower table, and I do like a low table. So it makes these straight-armed moves quite easy, and it makes working with your elbows quite easy. All you have to do is lean in. And while we're working with the elbows, you can use both and scoop away. And again, this feels effortless for me, and it's a very different feeling for the client versus when I'm working from top down. When I sit down, it's a completely new set of sensations for the client. So it's new for your body, which is important to prevent fatigue, and it's new for their nervous system, which is important to prevent monotony. It makes the massage feel new again. Perhaps most importantly, being in this seated position lets me access areas of the body that are otherwise difficult to access. So I can work with this fibularis group along the side of the lower leg. I can easily work with the IT band and vastus lateralis. I can very easily come up into gluteus medius and minimus. Right here I'm using a nice broad hand, so I'm going right over that greater trochanter as if it didn't exist, going all the way up to that iliac crest. And again, this energy feels free. It feels fairly effortless. And think how infrequently this gluteus medius gets this directed work. And it might not seem like it, but people who have pain that goes down the leg, whether it's from sciatica or similar symptoms, they very frequently have stuff going on along their lateral hip. So if you're working with low back pain, if you're working with sciatica type symptoms, do not neglect this lateral hip. This is also a great position to work with the side of the body. So pressing up toward the armpit, working with these lats, working with the lateral scapula, is all much easier from a seated position. And while I'm here, let me show you something that's very easy to do from this position with the arm down off the table like this, and that's to work with this scapula and with subscapularis. To do this, you just walk your thumbs underneath the scapula, you press your thumbs into the deepest, darkest parts of the armpit, and then you make a sandwich. My thumbs are flat. They look like this. This is a duck grip. And so instead of it feeling pinchy, it feels quite broad. And yet, I'm still working with that subscapularis. And because I am making this sandwich, I'm also working with infraspinatus. And as I draw outwards, which is mostly a movement of the top of my hand, my thumbs aren't moving much at all, I eventually make contact with the teres muscles, and I can give them a nice grasping pinch. Again, using that broad grip, those thumb pads and finger pads before moving on. And the seated position is a great position to work with the traps, infraspinatus, and supraspinatus. So all of those rotator cuff muscles. And finally, you can, of course, do plenty of good work at the head and neck. This can be a nice, long, extended amount of shoulder work, of neck work, of pec work. And I've been known to sit here for a good 10 to 15 minutes just working with these areas. And there are plenty of opportunities to work with the hands and with the feet from this position as well. So that's how I add as many as 10 or 20 minutes of sitting to each and every session that I do. By the end of the day, that really adds up, and I've got a lot less stress on my low back and on my feet. It's something to think about. Let me know if you've got any tips for how to sit down more down in the comments. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.